The jump would be hard, even if it was just like some
Anybody.
top 10.
Right.
You know.
Bud, would you say he's a very smart fighter?
Yes.
Very calculated,
Yes.
right? Don't you think that maybe he sees something that most people aren't seeing?
I think he does, but the thing is he gonna be able to even like to capitalize on it? Because he's a smaller fighter, and look, I think people are thinking at the aspect of, can Crawford do it? Yes, I think he can do it, but can Canelo do it? And I think he has a bigger chance of doing it than Crawford.
Evander Holyfield has criticized Canelo Alvarez ahead of his fight with Terence Crawford.
It'll be hard to beat Canelo. He's real basic, but he's a good fighter.
Canelo has established himself as a dominant force at 168 pounds, defeating top fighters like Callum Smith, Jermall Charlo, and Gennady Golovkin. Since moving to super middleweight in 2018, he has remained at the top, cementing his status as one of boxing's best. But his opponent, Crawford, is no ordinary fighter, renowned for his skill and ability to switch between orthodox and southpaw. He's stepping up to 168 pounds for the first time.
It's a 50-50 fight for me. He going up in weight. You know, Terence is going to be great, bro. But at the end of the day, he got the skill to do it. He got the skill to go do some shit that other motherfuckers can't do. You know, he just got that. You know, everybody got a little something in them, bro, that everybody don't got in them.
While Canelo has long competed at 168 pounds, Crawford is making a major jump, moving up 2 weight classes after dominating at 140 and 147 pounds. The fight is a compelling clash of styles, testing Crawford's ability to handle Canelo's size and power. Experts are divided on the outcome. Holyfield, who succeeded after moving up in weight himself, believes Canelo's experience and strength will overwhelm Crawford, calling him real basic, but a good fighter. On the other hand, Stephen A. Smith supports Crawford, suggesting he could outpoint Canelo by using speed, movement, and boxing IQ to avoid heavy shots. Smith notes Crawford's added size and strength may help, but warns that trading punches with Canelo could be disastrous due to the champion's power.
Love for boxing.
Yes,
Who
love
gonna
boxing.
win the fight, man? That's coming up. The biggest
Crawford.
fight in boxing.
Crawford.
Huh?
Crawford. I'm not hesitating. Crawford. I'm not even hesitating. Crawford.
You
will
gonna stand on that all the way to September 13th?
I love Canelo. Crawford will beat Canelo. Crawford will beat Canelo by decision. I can't see anybody knocking out Canelo Alvarez. But I do believe that if you can box and you can move, that you can beat Canelo. You can outpoint him.
That's right.
When I think about Canelo, one of the things that I don't like about Canelo, despite his greatness, and a neck as wide as Broadway, for crying out loud.
Right.
It's like almost every shot has to be a power shot.
It's a power shot, yeah.
That's not beating Crawford. I will confess, I think Gervonta Davis's trainer, Cal, I think he said this. He said Crawford could find himself in trouble if he decides to engage with Canelo, because Canelo is the naturally bigger, stronger fighter. And I don't care that Crawford's gotten bigger, and I don't care that Crawford's gonna go in there just as big as Canelo. Canelo is accustomed to fighting at the weight, and Crawford is not. And Canelo is a genius in this regard. You don't see him show up for fights not ready. He's always ready.
always prepared.
He's always ready.
gotta give
He's
him that.
always prepared. So I think he's the slower fighter, though. And I think that Crawford is brilliant as a boxer. And I think that between switching to conventional and southpaw, using his jab and movement, I think that Crawford is going to outpoint Canelo because he's faster. But he ain't, I don't.
Ryan Garcia has shared his perspective on the fight. While he respects Crawford's skills, he believes Canelo will keep his title. Garcia points out that Canelo's natural strength and extensive experience at super middleweight make it tough for Crawford to overcome him. Having witnessed Canelo's training firsthand, he notes that the Mexican star possesses the kind of power capable of challenging even larger opponents. According to Garcia, the bout will test Crawford's ability to adjust to a bigger, stronger Canelo. Despite this, he ultimately predicts Canelo will emerge victorious, though he admits an upset remains possible.
Two great fighters, great things can happen. But I could see even Crawford getting knocked out like Amir Khan style.
Do you give Terence Crawford any chance to beat Canelo?
I don't see it happening, but he could definitely prove me wrong. But I just think, bro, like, I mean, I've trained with Canelo, I've been around him. Bro can really push back heavyweight. So I don't know how he's like, because this is the first time Canelo's actually bigger than somebody in a long time. So it's like the weights are lifted off, and now he could fight even more freely, you know? So I'm actually interested to see, bro. I can't wait for the fight. I'm definitely going to be backing Canelo, but, you know, Crawford is a great fighter, and he could surprise me. But right now, where I would put my money is...
Experience will also play a key role in this fight. Former unified world champion Kelly Pavlik points out the gap in experience when facing bigger opponents. While Canelo has handled fighters moving down in weight, Crawford hasn't faced the same challenges. Pavlik believes Canelo's super middleweight experience gives him an advantage, but he doesn't completely count Crawford out.
That's a tough one. Look, I like betting fights or making picks, and I'm usually pretty good on all my picks, even when I had the podcast. But sometimes, because people look for that fighter, that former world champion, and they like want to pick them apart if they get it wrong. This is one of the fights where I want to sit back and watch and not worry about my pick. Canelo is a small middleweight, super middleweight. He just is. But he's also showed that he could go up in weight class, and he's a great fighter. I mean, that's it. Crawford is so talented. He's got so much ability in boxing, his boxing ability. And he's a bigger guy, too. He's almost every bit as big as Canelo, right? So that's what makes it tough. Like, yeah, Canelo's used to fighting guys coming down from 200 probably, you know, at light heavyweight. And Crawford ain't. But it's just too hard to pick on it because of Crawford's ability and boxing skills. I'm not going off of Canelo's last fight. You know, the guy he was fighting was in survival mode pretty much. He was just fighting not to get knocked out. When you fight a guy like that, you're not going to look good, right? I don't care what anybody says. When you fight a guy that's running around trying to survive, it makes it hard. So I don't go off of that, but this fight is going to be interesting. I mean, I would almost have to kind of lean with Canelo, but I'm not making that pick. Just saying.
Pavlik suggests Crawford will need a smart strategy, using his speed and boxing IQ to outmaneuver Canelo and avoid his power shots. He advises applying early pressure, especially in the opening rounds, to wear Canelo down. This approach comes from observing Canelo's tendency to slow in later rounds, notably in his loss to Dmitry Bivol, where his stamina was tested. With quickness and footwork, Crawford could exploit these weaknesses by starting fast and outpointing Canelo early.
Staying Canelo's at a little early on, put Canelo behind, right? Even if it's 3 out of the first 4 rounds, because when Canelo has to fight, okay, when Canelo has to step it up, after 7 rounds, he starts to fade a little bit. We've seen that with Bivol. We've seen it in a lot of his fights with Triple G. You know, when Canelo could control the fight and the ring generalship, like, yeah, he could fight 12 rounds pretty good. But when Canelo gets pushed early on in the fight, he starts to fade muscle endurance-wise. So if I was Crawford, I would kind of stay in it a little bit on, you know, the early rounds and make him have to play catch up in rounds 3, 4, 5, and then by round 7, that's where, you know, he can really step.
Dmitry Bivol, the fighter who handed Canelo one of his most significant defeats, has also weighed in on the upcoming showdown. Bivol offers a unique perspective, noting that despite the apparent size difference between Canelo and Crawford, it may not be as crucial as many believe. He emphasizes that mental preparation and focus will be key factors in determining the outcome. While Crawford is the smaller fighter, Bivol points out that he possesses the mental fortitude and boxing intelligence to handle Canelo's power. Reflecting on his own victory over Canelo, Bivol was able to remain composed, stick to his game plan, and outbox Canelo instead of attempting to overpower him. He believes Crawford has the same potential, capable of using his sharp technical skills and focus to overcome the Mexican champion, provided he doesn't let the magnitude of the fight affect his performance.
You know, with it's not about only getting used to the power, and it's also about be mentally ready, because when people are not prepared them mentally, they like afraid or scared, you become weak, your body become weak, you know, when something happened and it's something new and you wasn't ready for it. We all know these feelings, like the body become melting, like just soft, you know. And mentality is very important also for this fight. Even his 1 weight class or 2 weight class lower, if he's mentally ready, he will be ready to get these punches and be okay with this. He could be good. At the same time, we saw how Canelo was fighting against another guys like Charlo, maybe Smith, Callum Smith. And we saw the huge difference. I think it's not because of weight class, it's about mentality.
Others, like former WBC super welterweight champion Sergio Mora, initially questioned whether Crawford could move up in weight and genuinely challenge someone like Canelo. Mora pointed to Canelo's performance against WBO champion Billy Joe Saunders as an example, suggesting Crawford might lack the same explosiveness at higher weight classes. However, after reconsidering, Mora has softened his view. He believes that with the right mindset and focus, Crawford could surprise many with a strong performance. Mora emphasizes Crawford's ability to switch stances and his exceptional counterpunching, which could help him land clean shots against Canelo, who often relies on power. If Crawford maintains pressure while avoiding Canelo's heavier punches, Mora thinks he has a real chance to win.
I said, oh man, this is just a money grab. I mean, Crawford started at 135. How is he going to be at a guy that's fought as high as 175? And then you saw Canelo's fight against William School. His last fight. It wasn't a good fight, man. You've seen that he doesn't have that fastball anymore. He doesn't have he's never had fast feet, but at least he's not cutting off the wing like he used to.
Yeah.
And the explosiveness in his combinations and in half speed, it wasn't there either because there was nothing to hit. So can you imagine a Bud Crawford who's nowhere near a William School? School just ran. He didn't try to win that fight. Bud's going to try to win the fight. He's going to have the footwork. He's going to have the hand speed. He's going to have, maybe not the power of Canelo, but he's going to have respectable pop in that punch coming from both stances, mind you, the left-handed and the right-handed stance. And I just think ultimately Crawford just is a mean mofo. This dude mean. I mean, I met Bud a couple of times. He pulls me aside and starts. He gives me that look. He's a mean, intimidating dude, man. And then I've been seeing how he's been growing into the frame.
He's got big.
He's gotten big. He's gotten muscular, and he's looking more like a middleweight, super middleweight. The closer the fight gets, the more I'm looking at Crawford like, this dude might do something, man. Because all along I haven't changed my tune. I say Canelo's gonna win this fight, but he's not gonna come out of it unscathed. I can see him being bruised up, battered, maybe a little bit of blood, but his size is gonna come in the end. Now I'm starting to change my tune. I could maybe see the day that we've seen Canelo finally get old, no excuses, just Crawford pot-shotting him, having the night of his life, and we just watch something great. I can visualize it, man. So the closer this fight gets, the more that I'm looking at it like a 50-50 fight.
Jesse "Bam" Rodriguez, another fighter backing Crawford, recognizes Canelo's knockout power but remains confident in Crawford's abilities. He argues that Crawford's superior boxing IQ and technical skills will give him the edge, despite Canelo's power threat. Rodriguez highlights Crawford's adaptability and strategic approach, which can help him manage Canelo's offensive pressure, particularly by avoiding direct exchanges with the Mexican champion's heavy shots. While Canelo's size and strength are undeniable, Rodriguez believes Crawford's boxing intelligence is enough to neutralize those advantages.
I do need to get your opinion on Canelo Crawford. How do you think that fight plays out?
It's a difficult fight. Crawford, he has the skills to box and stay on the outside, but Canelo has the power, the size advantage, so it's a very difficult fight to call. I know Crawford will have to box a perfect fight for 12 rounds. Canelo can change the fight with one punch, so it's a very difficult fight. I've been saying that I favor Crawford. People don't like it, but it is what it is. I would favor Crawford in this.
The debate over who holds the advantage continues to heat up as the fight nears. Fans and analysts remain split on how Crawford, the smaller fighter, will cope with Canelo's natural super middleweight size and strength. Crawford's speed, precision, and ability to adapt to different styles are undeniable, yet Canelo's experience at the weight and his formidable power present a significant challenge. Some argue that Crawford's superior boxing skills could overcome Canelo's size and strength, while others believe the Mexican star's power will be too much for the challenger to handle. One thing is certain, this fight is shaping up to be one of the most anticipated matchups in recent boxing history. Both fighters are in their prime, and the stakes are immense. Crawford has the chance to make history as the first male fighter to win undisputed titles in 3 weight classes, but Canelo's power and experience may be a decisive obstacle. As the bout approaches, fans eagerly await to see how the two will match up and who will claim the undisputed super middleweight crown.